Hey YouTube, this one is called Forward Movement. So I had a dream last night, and in my dream, I was back at my grandma's house, and my grandfather was there. And I have never met my grandfather, y'all. Never. By the time I was born or was old enough to remember, he had already passed away. So I never met him. But in the dream, they said someone, I can't remember who it was that was talking, but they made the statement, when Grandpa took those pictures down off the wall, everything just started coming in, or everything was allowed to come in and start attacking us. And I'm like, what does that mean? And I'm still finding clarity on it. But I remember listening to someone that says when you have dreams of something from your past, or a house from your past, or something that you grew up in, or anything like that, that represents backward movement. That represents somewhere in your life you're moving backwards, you're not moving forward. And so I started to analyze, okay, what am I doing in this present moment that I would have that dream? I'm going back to old ways. I'm going back to an old mindset. I'm moving backwards rather than moving forward. And you have to pay attention to your movements. You have to pay attention to your mindset, and you have to pay attention to the way you're doing things, the way you're handling situations. Because sometimes you could potentially, you have it in good intentions. Let me say it like that. You have good intentions to go forward, and you may be thinking you're moving forward, but really, spiritually, you're moving backwards, because either you've decided to pick up an old way or old habit, like me. Prime example, why I feel like I had that dream is because I'm about to pick up an old habit of running away from things, running away from situations, running away from people. Like, I don't have to deal with that. I don't have to go. Let me be real with you. I was the type of person when I felt disrespected, played, manipulated, rejected, insulted, or whatever, I'd be like, stick it. I'm out. I ain't got to put up with this. I ain't got to deal with this. I ain't got to even go through all this. Like, it's ain't worth it. Like, I'm out of there. I done ran to cities. I done ran away from people. If people hurt my feelings, I would quit talking to them. I would not answer phones. I would just cut people off like they didn't matter. I was good at that blocking cutoff game. You know what I'm saying? I was real good at it. I had no problem with dissing people. You know what I'm saying? Not really thinking about the fact that that's God's children too. And they mean something to him. And you have to learn how to deal with hurt, pain, anguish, rejection, disappointment. It's a part of life. But I would get to a point where I was like, I don't want to have to deal with that. So I would go and I would hide in my cocoon, or I would just, I would get to a place where I wouldn't deal with it. I didn't want to deal with it. It was easy for me to just back up away from it, whether it was weeks, months, years, however, and then come back at it. Never actually dealing with it. Because when I would come back at it, I still had to face it. I still had to deal with it. I still had to go through it. I still had to deal with whatever it was. I had to go through it. I had to deal with it. I had to eventually face it. So running from it only delayed what I actually had to do. It only delayed me. That's it. Because whatever it is you run from in life, you could run. God will allow you to run, just like Jonah, and he'll put you in the belly of a whale. He'll have you going through hell, anguish, torment. Things ain't going right. Sour situations, losing houses, losing people, losing money, losing everything. You know what I'm saying? He'll have you go through like Jonah. He'll have you going through it. And you thinking, well, why am I going through this? Well, God said you ran from what I sent you to. You ran from what I was trying to have you take care of. You ran from the people that I sent to help you. You ran from the thing that was meant to help you elevate to go to that next place. You ran from your elevation. You ran from this test that was meant to help you graduate, whether if it was mentally, you needed to graduate to learn how to be more mature. You ran from paying your bills and paying off debt. Now you're going to have to continue to have these people calling your phone, blowing you up hundreds of times a day. Why? Because you ran from them calls and you should have just handled it. You should have just answered the call. You should have just paid the bill. You know what I'm saying? We run from stuff. Or you're running from this relationship. Why? Because it doesn't look like what you think it should look like. You're running from them because you want to find something because you're not truly whole and complete and you're not where you're supposed to be. So you figure, hey, it's just easier just to run from it and start over and get a new relationship. And I ain't never got to really deal with me and the true issue that's inside of me. So I'll just go from one guy to the next guy. I'll just go from one relationship to the next relationship, just reintroducing myself to these new people. And hey, they never really know who I really am. Why? Because I've never really put any roots down with anybody for them to really get to know me. Why? Because I ran from all of them. When they started calling me out on my stuff, I ran from them. When they started seeing me for who I really was, I ran from them. Why? Because I was afraid that they wouldn't love me for me or like me for who I truly am. So when I started showing my true colors, I got fearful and I ran from it. Hey, what? What is it? What? That's what we do. We run from situations and then only to go back to that same situation in a different person. You know what I'm saying? Why? I don't know. But you have to learn how not to go backwards. Whatever it is that you're doing in life right now, keep going forward. Me, I'm telling you, that was all my personal testimony from things I have done when I didn't want to deal with life. It's a part of life. If you can't deal with the challenges of life, then you're going to have it bad. It was easier for me to run from people, run from friends, run from family, run from relationships, intimate relationships, run from paying my bills and taking care of my responsibility, run from ever growing up and being an adult because I wanted to be a kid for so long and be that little spoiled brat and never having to really take care of my own shiggity. But eventually life will catch up with you. Eventually life will catch up with you and you have to stop running. It's going to make you stop running. It's going to make you actually stand up and face whatever it is that you're supposed to face. Of course, y'all know when I start doing videos, my baby, he wants that attention. He don't never want attention like that until I'm doing it. So you have to stop running from it, even from being a parent. Those kids didn't ask to come here. They did not ask to come here. That's something that we did and brought them here. So it's our responsibility to take care of them and be there for them. You know what I'm saying? Regardless to who's there with you and who's there not with you, it's still your responsibility to take care of yours. No matter what, don't run from it. Embrace it. I could sit here and put him down and let him whine. Or I could pick him up on my hip and hold him. Give him that time and actually continue to do what I'm doing. I could walk away from him, run, and put him in the hair and let him watch some cartoons. And while I go finish this video, I could do it with him. You know what I'm saying? Why run? We're going to run ourselves into a wall. We keep running, a brick wall, and smack, dead in the face, be right back where you started. Or you could choose to keep moving forward. So I feel like that's what that dream was about. God was saying, hey, you're going backwards. Stop going back to old mindsets, old ways of thinking. Hey. Stop going back to old mindsets, old ways of thinking, old habits. Stop going back. Who knows? You could be the one to break that generational curse that's been on your family for so long. You never know. But if you go back into doing things the way that you used to do and negate all the training and teaching and time and effort that you put into making yourself better, man, it's not that easy. It's not that easy to have to start all over again. Because now you start back a whole lot further than where you were if you'd have just kept going. So keep going. Don't go back. Don't go backwards. I love you. Later.